Hey, welcome back, guys, to the PGBL playoffs at last. I know it's been a long time coming. Some of you have asked me, and yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. I mean, we took like a 1 week bye, basically to get the playoff situated, and then it took me a long time to get, it actually scheduled here with Rewt. But because of the way things worked out, this is actually going to be the Eastern Conference Championship. So, yeah, if I win this match, I will be into the finals, and that is what's going on. In fact, the reason this is happening is because Visual Eye actually dropped out. He wanted to spend some time. He wanted to, reprioritize to Sword and Shield content. Yeah, we have one less person in the playoffs, and because I had the best record in the conference, aside from that, I earned that bye. And yeah, so Rewt is going to be my opponent. The New Jersey Brobats sitting at 6-2, having finished his season. We actually played in our Week 7 matchup, so just a couple games ago. I ended up winning that one, but it was an absolutely crazy match. I'm expecting another really great match here against the Brobats. Rewt is, of course, the league owner, as I mentioned, and yeah, we're going to see if we can spoil him in our league. So this is the, I've still made it to the semifinals in, like, every league I've ever been in. I'm pretty proud about that. Let's see if I get to my, second finals of all time. Now we did play just a couple games ago, but obviously you guys probably will need a little bit of a refresher because I have not been posting PGBL content recently. In fact, it's been a few weeks since the season finale. So here is my squad, and it is a really good squad. I'm just going to be sticking with it. Aside from the Claydol, which I haven't used, every one of these Pokemon have proven themselves pretty much worthy of a roster spot. And honestly, I don't really know who I'd get rid of Claydol for, but it doesn't matter. Let me go ahead and refresh you on Rewt's team, and yeah, he has a lot of interesting, potent Pokemon. Specifically the Infernape, the Zygarde, the Greninja, the Necrozma, just all the scary stuff. And that Mega Scizor, which actually kept me from bringing my Mimikyu, has kind of been my MVP this season from that Week 7 encounter. And he didn't actually end up bringing it. He ended up bringing some Pokemon I was not expecting, like Tauros. And wonder if, this is kind of interesting because it's going to be interesting to see, how he responds to having lost to me. As for me, I actually decided to bring Mimikyu this time. I'm going to go ahead and bench the Incineroar, which I did bring last time. I'm going to change up a few sets. I'm actually switching my Keldeo, which you might recall, the Waterium Z Keldeo was really, really clutch last battle, but I'm actually going to make it Specs this time, while, it frees a spot for Mimikyu, who I didn't bring to the original match because basically that Mega Scizor, and it had a hard time getting through a few of his, his faster Pokemon. Obviously, the Greninja is going to be hard to get around the Infernape as well if he does bring it. There's a lot of offensive threats here, and it's a really well-drafted team, so I'm expecting another really close match. But I think Mimikyu actually, upon some reflection, can be really useful at breaking through some of his team, especially if I can get a Swords Dance up. Anyway, as with, previous entries in the PGBL, I'm going to try to keep this team preview a little brief. The Primarina is another Pokemon I have to watch out for. He brought the Scarf Primarina last time, as well as the Scarf Greninja. It's going to be interesting to see what he brings this time. So there's the teams. Like I said, I pretty much mentioned my stuff. He is bringing Sandslash again, which is interesting, but he is bringing the Zygarde this time instead of his Tauros. So still no Infernape, which I'm pleasantly surprised about because Infernape actually can hit most of my team really hard. I'm surprised he didn't bring it in either match. Yeah, I'm not going to complain about that. Going to go ahead and actually lead with Keldeo. And, yeah, he led with the one Pokemon I really did want to see. That's the Necrozma. But I'm like, you know what? Let's go for a Specs Hydro Pump and hope that he doesn't predict this and stay in and go for a Photon Geyser. I go for the Hydro Pump. It nearly kills this thing, and he stays and I go for the Photon Geyser. So I was thinking, okay, well, there goes Keldeo. But Keldeo ends up living with 8 HP, which is something I did not expect at all, and it's because he's actually running no special attack investment on this Necrozma, purely defensive of sorts, so that's kind of interesting that, yeah, I was able to live that. Even then, it was just 50-50, so a little bit of early luck on my part getting that survival, and I'm just going to go for another Hydro Pump that hits this incoming Primarina, and hits it really hard, because Specs, Keldeo hits like a truck. And, yeah, I'm just going to go into Shaman. I'm hoping that he doesn't predict this and go for an Ice Beam. He very well could because, obviously, my Keldeo will die to an Ice Beam at that range. But instead he just goes for a Surf, which is more than fine, as I take that really well, obviously, with Shaman. And I'm just going to go for a Seed Flare, and he's just going to go sack off his Necrozma, which is fine because I'm perfectly okay with not having to deal with Necrozma. There's so many tricky stuff he can do with it, or it could just be a tank. I don't know. I'm glad it's gone. So anyway, in comes the Greninja, and last match, I remember a specific time in the battle, I really should have went for a Synthesis against this Greninja, because I know it can't hurt me. me, and that's what I'm going to do this time, and it ends up paying off this time, as I do get the synthesis as he just goes for the U-turn. So I made the right play this time, which sets me up really, really nicely against this incoming Primarina, because now there's no way he can kill me, even with an Ice Beam. He's just going to go for a Moon Blast, and yeah, that ends up nailing me a little harder than I thought it would. I don't know maybe if this one's I don't think it can be Specs, I'm pretty sure I should speed the Specs one. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and take it down with the Seed Blast, Seed Flare. I think that was just maybe a modest Scarf one again, but it does a lot of damage with that Stab Moon Blast. Anyway, decided just to stay in here. Was hoping he'd never predict. As I mentioned, this has to be Torrent Greninja, so yeah, Ice Beam's still going to kill me. So I go down, but I figure, okay, this is a perfect time to set up Mimikyu. He's locked into Ice Beam. I know that even, I have my Disguise, first of all, so I know I can take at least one hit if he does stay in. And I know I can take 2 Ice Beams, as long as he doesn't freeze me, which is what I'm, in the back of my mind I'm worried about. And I'm actually kind of surprised he stayed in here, which is fine. So I should be able to get the KO here with Play Rough. He goes for the Ice Beam, and he crits, which makes it do a little more than half. And I missed the Play Rough, which I was livid about. And yeah, he goes for the Ice Beam again, and he gets another crit. I was so livid. Oh, I am so mad at this point. I was so mad. Get the miss. He gets the 2 Ice Beam crits, which you need both of them to be able to take down my Mimikyu. And even though I had a perfect setup there with Mimikyu, but yeah, and I really needed this Greninja dead. The Scarf Greninja stops a lot of my team because I am bringing Scarf Chomp this week, and I need to outspeed it. But this thing's gonna outspeed my Scarf Chomp because it's faster and has the Scarf. So that is really bad. There was that big hacks there, and and he makes a nice play here too. I was trying to predict the Sand Slash with the Hidden Power Ice. He stays in, and then he switches out. So now he is, riding that momentum of the 2 Ice Beam criticals, and I am in trouble. I go into Keldeo against this thing, basically to sack it, or if he does, I just want to go for Stealth Rocks maybe. I can get a hit off, but no, he just goes for the knockoff, which is the wise move. It kills my Keldeo. So, gonna go into Garchomp now. I end up just going for the Outrage, which I'm confident won't kill. I end up getting the crit with the Outrage, so that's not bad, although I think it's a 2-hit KO either way. Not sure. Maybe that mattered. It doesn't really matter, because I wanted to go with the Outrage, specifically because it wasn't going to kill the Sand Slash, because I didn't want, obviously, Scarf Greninja to come in and kill my Garchomp. My Garchomp is somewhat of a win condition now, because I did lose that Mimikyu so early. So, yeah, I do get confused, so that's good, actually, because that allows me to switch out, because if I got the 3rd turn, this Greninja would have been able to come in and kill me with Ice Beam. But now I can go into Scarf. I'm trying to protect this thing, because I do need that Scarf Gren, but unfortunately this Greninja is still there. That's, it should be dead, but it's not, so, so mad. And so there's another Ice Beam crit, by the way, so here comes the Ice Beam. And there's another critical! So that is 4 Ice Beam criticals by this Greninja. And I am just flabbergasted. Like, how does this happen? This should not happen. I am so mad at this point. Come on, go ahead and crit me again with Ice Beam, or freeze me. It'd be on par for the course. Unfortunately, no crit. I'm able to get off a Roost. Yeah, so Skarmory should be able to pace this, because Ice Beam really isn't doing that much to me, unless it crits. So, yeah, I set up the Stealth Rocks, which should help against the Vikavolt she still has, which is weak to them, and in comes the Vikavolt, which is fine. He takes that 25%. I go for the Roost to get back to full. Now, here is, I have vivid in my memory from the first game of trying to switch in a Garchomp against Vikavolt and him predicting it perfectly over the Empower Ice. So this time, I know that just in case, I do have the Sturdy, so I'm just going to go for the Whirlwind. And this time he actually does try to double into his Greninja predicting the Garchomp. So he was predicting Garchomp, but didn't go for the Empire Ice this time. Ends up working out really great for me because I get the Whirlwind, and it ends up getting it into the Zygarde, which, yeah, I'm kind of fine with. He's just going to go for the 1,000 arrows. And, yeah, I'm just kind of content just keeping going for the Whirlwind, just in case he does switch out again. And, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I get some chip damage there. In comes Vikavolt again, which takes another 25%. Unfortunately, I don't have the Sturdy on my side anymore, so I do probably have to switch. And, like I said, I can't afford losing Garchomp. I'm going to go on Manectric, which I know doesn't take really anything well. If he goes for a Bug Buzz, that's the worst case scenario. Let's kill me. But any move is really good, a lot of damage to my Manectric, even resisted, just shows how powerful Vikavolt is. And as you can see, that Volt Switch almost kills me. And he's going to get the switch advantage here, going out into Greninja. So, yeah, he's getting a little bit more momentum. I really need to take out this Greninja somehow, but, yeah, at this point, obviously, he outspeeds my Garchomp, so I have really no choice. You know, Skarm is the one thing I can take it, but that I'm not going to take a Surf that well, so I have to go into Garchomp now. I know I can take at least one Surf. Interesting that he stays in here. I was really surprised because I thought he would try to switch out, sack something to me, and then switch back into Greninja so he could get the Ice Beam off on my Garchomp. But instead, he ends up just going for the Surf, which does not kill me, obviously. And yeah, my Garchomp now, and this is Scarf Chomp, should outspeed the rest of his team. So it's really going to come down to if I can get the third turn of Outrage right now, because he's going to go ahead and sack off the Vikavolt. His last Pokemon is the Zygarde, which could have Extreme Speed as well, which has a potential chance to kill me. So we're going to go ahead and see if this thing is Extreme Speed. I do have the third turn of Outrage, although I could have switched out and obviously still gotten it. Of course, this thing could be Dragon Dance, so I'm just going to go for the Outrage. I have to. I'm locked into it, and it takes it out. So somehow, able to overcome those 4 Ice Beam criticals. Just absolutely insane match against Rewt, and we are going to advance to the finals again, my friends. So we'll have one more PGBL match. ETA unknown at this point. I still have to find out who I'm facing because I don't think that bracket has finished their playoffs yet. But I am happy that we actually got the win here. That was just an insane match, Rewt. Just a really crazy game back and forth. First, the Photon guys are not killing my Keldeo. 4 Ice Beam criticals. I got pretty lucky in retrospect with the outrages. Basically getting the 2 turns when I needed, and then getting the 3 turns at the end, which is what I needed. But still, just a crazy match. Anyway, today's question of the day has to do with more Sword and Shield content, and today's question of the day is, what is your favorite town in the game? It has a lot of really neat locations, actually. It's a really well-made region, I feel. Every town feels really unique and interesting. As for me, I'm going to go with Hammerlock. I just love the castle feel of it. You know, it's kind of like an old-school castle architecture, and I just kind of like the way it looks. So, yeah, leave a comment about that, and see you guys again next time. PGBL, Eastern Conference champions. Hopefully we can finally get a league championship under our belt. So stay tuned for that, whenever it happens. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and next time, later.